And here we go. We're into, oh, actually, we have to remake the lobby. All right, so false alarm. We'll be talking about some standings here in just a second. So I think the biggest thing to talk about, Nero, is the advancement of EDG to a tie for first place if they do win this game versus World Elite Academy.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the remake of the room, because one of the casters actually is AFK, so they had to kick him. So we are remaking it, the room, and you are in there. So can you join the observers so they won't kick you? Okay, so now you can.
I got it.
answer the
There we
question.
go. Some minor observer drama over the break. We were actually having a little bit of a dance off in the lobby with some of the Chinese observers. So it was pretty awesome. But now that everybody's back into the game and nobody's kicked, let's go ahead and hop into champion select here for game number 2. It's EDG now on the blue team. World Elite Academy, they are in the red, and it's gonna be a rough trip through the comeback train if World Elite Academy are gonna bring this back. EDG with great planning and even better execution, going for that early level, like level 2, level 3, 4-man dive in the top lane, putting him off to an early lead.
Okay, so Shia came out with his Magi Soul Stealer, so EDG just expecting him to pick up his Annie this time around, because he's this kind of a guy that buys Magi's and then goes for the Annie pick. No idea why, he just goes for the Annie pick a lot of times.
Well, it's not even just Xie. Like, a lot of Chinese and even like on the SEA server, they're just playing a ton of Annie mid. I don't know why. They just do it. But it's very popular, and it will be drawn a ban here for EDG.
Yeah, and in the previous game, Thresh wasn't banned at all, and now it got banned out. So I don't know, maybe EDG is just going for a little bit of a troll banning phase right here.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah,
Thresh
on
is
the other
always
side,
going to be a strong support regardless, so probably just banning him. Oh, they banned out Xie's LeBlanc just so that he doesn't buy Medjais on it again. So not necessarily the greatest ban phase from EDG, but World Elite Academy are taking this one seriously, so they've banned out 2 very strong laners. I'd expect to see a Kale ban here. No, it's actually the Braum, so EDG can grab that Kale. It's open. Let's see if they grab it. Yeah, and there it is, first pick.
yeah, the kill is open. So MCCF would like to pick a Leona, but we'll see if it will be left out open after World Leads pick. Because, well, with Thrash Band, with Braum Band, of course, it's a Leona or Nami right here.
Well,
One of the
yeah, there are a couple of supports. I expect to see the Nami, but if you actually want to go for something maybe a little bit different, I actually saw, what was it? It was an LSPL team run Janna support again. I don't think it's very good, but it's nice to see maybe some diversity out there. Also, Morgana support, also still good, although you don't see that too much in the Chinese scene.
Yeah, Janna support is awesome for now, but it's not the 4.10 patch, it's 4.9, so there's
That's
no
right.
Ardent sensor, and that's where Janna has the power spike with this item. She's just incredibly OP, gives you movement speed, attack damage, and attack speed, and everything that you may want, plus a shield. So, well, maybe Janna will come in, but not now. We have Lee Sin and a Gragas locked in, so no supports coming out as of yet. Yeah, indeed, hovering over this Nami already 2 times. I think that this will be one pick, but on the other side, I'm really wondering what we'll get to see. Maybe this Morgana coming out just because there's the lack of picks.
Well, to be honest, World Elite Academy got a pretty big dream team. They got a lot of very strong champions, and I guess this time around it's kind of the same thing. They've given XR his top lane Gragas, Soist in the jungle on Lee Sin, so 2 very strong picks there. The questions that are left open are, well, they gave Name a Twitch, and of course there's the Nami with Name down in the bottom lane. So we'll see if that's the name synergy is there. Of course, they might actually have to go up against the Sona here. Xie thinking about bringing that champion back. Don't see Sona that much anymore. Kind of squishy and really immobile, so winds up dying a whole lot.
Yeah, but we have seen Sona yesterday, and there's a lot of actually support players who prefer Thresh, and their second pick would be Sona. So that's kind of an unexpected pick. But Kog'Maw, on the other hand, he's the guy that doesn't really fit the LPL meta because the AD carries are just so aggressive that they make too many positioning mistakes, and he's so immobile that he'll get crushed completely. And well, Skarner, that would have been an interesting pick. But we already have... And FZZF, he's known for his Blitzcrank, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out. But, well, we already have Nami locked in, so Syndra and Jarvan coming out right here.
So pretty picture-perfect team composition for EDG. They were lucky to get the Kayle in the top lane. I think the Braum ban from World Elite Academy was strong, but you can't give away Kayle. So Koro is going to have an incredibly strong top laner. Did you see you back on his Syndra from game 1? So with the jungle Jarvan, and an arguably even stronger bottom lane in this Twitch Nami for Name and FZZF. So great draft for EDG. They'll be facing off against World Elite Academy. And they have a Kog'Maw. That's a very good late game scaling champion. Ziggs will be able to draw the game out a little bit longer with some extra wave clear. The only problem is how you get through the first 15 minutes of the game, because World Elite Academy are going to be very weak early on.
Okay, so here's the deal. You said they're going to be very weak early on, and Kog'Maw is such a great late game scaling champion, and World Elite Academy is all about winning lanes. So are they actually just experimenting to try and go for a late game team comp and try to win this finally after the laning phase and not in the laning phase? Or are they actually losing hope and just going for an easy win for EDG?
We'll get a chance to see that. We're going to hop into game number 2 in this best of 2 series. We'll have that game coming your way here in just a minute. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in game number 2 for EDG versus World Elite Academy. EDG picked up a dominant game 1 win and are favored in this matchup. And if they do actually wind up going 2-0 here versus World Elite Academy, they will join let's see, Starhorn, World Elite, and OMG for a 4-way tie for first place. They do still have to win this, and with a very strong team composition to do it. We'll see if World Elite Academy can pick up their first win ever in LPL.
Yeah, so as you said, EDG going in as heavy favorites. Once again, Yu has this Syndra. He wasn't actually too impressive in the previous game on this one, but he's still yet to show, and I'm quite sure that he knows how to play this champion. I have seen him play this quite superiorly in a lot of games already. Well, Name has the switch. He's kind of known for playing this champion. He played it a lot in Positive Energy when this reign of Name, the best AD carry in the world, started, actually. It was in the previous season. And Koro won in the top lane with a Kayle. So this is going to be quite strong, helping out this Twitch. And we have seen Twitch Nami already in the games today, yesterday. And this is already really strong, getting this Tide Caller's Blessing, of course, and running in with the ambush, dealing a lot of damage. On top of that, he will also have the intervention this time around, so this is going to be really huge for EDG's bottom.
pay no attention to the loading bar up there. I should get that taken care of here in just a second, as team's just kind of waiting out the early game. A few little lag issues this week. Should look to get this game underway, or at least theoretically. Minion's having some issues while we look to get this back in. So it's going to take a little bit longer to hop into the game, so going to go through a brief overview of the standings while I at least try to get everything back and champions moving. And it appears as if things might be improving, but still a little bit left to go. And yeah, all right, so don't worry, fear not. We're back in the game and everything going to happen all at once. Oh no, it's a scary new world, but it is one that will hopefully continue progressing, though it does look like servers are having some small issues, at least for us spectators. Alright, it appears as if we might be able to continue to show you the game as long as servers continue to be with us here. I'm going to attempt to make this work. If it does not, then well, it's obviously going to be a little bit rough to deal with, but hopefully we can get it underway. It appears as if servers are having some pretty spectacular issues at the moment, so we'll do our best to get everything back and up and running. So appreciate you guys bearing with us. Going to attempt to get this to work out, and if everything works successfully, then at least we'll be able to show you the game again. Unfortunately, it does not look like that is currently working, as it is it's not quite showing up.
I'm trying to visit the Chinese streams to try and see if they also have the problem, but it seems like I can't even connect to the streams either.
Alright, well, like I said, apologies for the start. Apparently the spectator client is having some minor issues for us, so fear not, we have your best LPL watching interests in mind, and we will try at least to get back into the game. Hooking it in is apparently having a little bit of an issue, so we'll at least try to get that back underway and hopefully show you guys the best game that we possibly can. I'm going to try one more time to get a game up there on your screen, and it looks like this should be one way of making it work. So there we go. We at least have the game back underway. You didn't miss all that much. First blood did go to Clear Love off of a gank on the bottom lane, and we were talking about the immobility of Sona, wound up costing her life. At least for the time being, this game will continue, even though it is a little bit further on, but it looks like everybody's out there, back to moving around, so no worries just yet. We do have things back underway. So, bottom lane at Name actually taking a little bit of extra damage. UJ actually playing this very, very aggressively, and as says that kind of in the same department. It supports battling AD carries, and it does look like Name was the loser in that battle.
Yeah, so it was just one kill in the early game, and just look at the gold difference, it's so huge already.
Yeah, goal difference is about 1,000, and it's only 5.5 minutes into the game. More importantly, it's just Name actually playing this bottom lane incredibly aggressively. He's even losing out on some trades just so that he can keep fighting his opponents and relying on the sustain from FZZF to keep him in that lane. So bottom lane's working pretty well for EDG. Top lane also going in their favor. Of course, against any sort of pseudo-tanky top laner, Kale does a very good job just because she is able to shred those tanky resistances. Clear Love, though, positioned for gank number 2 down here in the bottom lane. Flashed away from the bubble and forced out there by UJ. So again, the return trip to the bottom lane, you can see ClearLove putting a lot of pressure down there. Obviously wanting to get that snowball rolling. It's ZF and Name very, very key to carrying out EDG's lineup. Putting this pressure on down there, ClearLove's even just becoming kind of sort of this 3v2 laner, as he just wants to give Name and FZZF a free trip back to base.
And that's what I said at the very beginning of the game. Like, World Elite Academy is so focusing on the early game of the laning phase, and if they lose it, they lose the game. And now they are going for the late game comp, and they have this late game scaling Kog'Maw. So they just want to shut him down completely, so even that fails for them. And they are not even afraid of any other lanes. They can play safe. And in the bottom lane, just shutting down Kog'Maw is just going to break World Elite Academy completely.
But keep in mind, is speaking of shutting down Kog'Maw, SMLZ actually has a 10 CS lead over Name. So he's going to be down maybe in a little bit of the gold count. If you can check out the gold right now, he's up about 100 gold, so nothing too significant there. Koro1 doing a good job sustaining up top lane versus XR. Both of them having used their teleports to get back to lane. Oh, a little bit of damage down there on to Xie, but no all-ins happening just yet, and actually a very dangerous position for you, as you just see Soest waiting in the wings to gank.
Yeah, so the solo lane has already hit a level 6, and well, Koro1, he's going to be the key member, but actually a little bit later in the team fight, but still, I would expect this scale to go really big in the top lane, since it's a Gragas, and he doesn't really do much in the laning phase too. He's just trying to farm something up, and Koro1 is going for the aggression, then getting a little bit damage back, and forth and back and forth.
So top lane definitely going in favor of Koro1. He has a little bit more mana, and that's something that XR is actually really hurting for. Doesn't have a lot of that up there, and actually would have won his all-in against Koro, but he ran out of mana, so he couldn't do it. Bottom lane, Name and FZZF just back to pushing, trying to shove SMLZ underneath of this turret, forcing him to miss a little bit of that CS. They're actually doing a pretty good job of it. They're caught up in the CS, but we'll have to be very, very vulnerable or aware of what's going on on the rest of the map, and that is that Saoist is looking to at least come in here early, smite there, and oh, it's actually going to be Saoist who picks up the blue buff. There's a few ways to get the blue buff, and one of them, of course, is killing the guy that has it. Saoist actually, with a nice Dragon's Rage, will be able to escape, gets out of there alive, but in the meantime, it's a 1v1 between Koro and XR. Safeguard in there. Intervention is not going to be enough, and Saoist is actually able to take out Koro. Nice use of that Sonic Wave. Grabs himself the first kill of the game for World Elite Academy.
Yeah, that's going a little bit better than the previous game, of course, for the World Elite Academy.
Of course, bottom lane also not going very well. That's the passive, the Acathian surprise from SMLZ actually is able to take out Name, so a 1-for-1 trade in the bottom lane as well. And supports who are now farming things up down there. Very, very aggressive across the map, and it's trading evenly, so good job for World Elite.
Yeah, it was already a dead Name anyway, so it's just fortunate that the AD carry got it for World Elite Academy. And yeah, they're keeping up with the kills, and they're keeping up with the gold. That's a perfect thing, and that's what they lacked in the previous game. So maybe they will actually try to show us a bit more of their gameplay. And well, it's kind of weird because they are, of course, I'm repeating it over and over again, but they are an early game team, and with the late game comp, they can actually pull off a better early game than in the previous one.
Well, with a late game team comp, I want to say this is good for World Elite Academy because they're actually trading evenly early on, and they just keep getting stronger. And from our first series of the night, you can tell exactly how much value there is into having late game scaling team comp. IG in both of their games versus LGD came out to a very strong start, but just couldn't finish the game fast enough before LGD wound up scaling up. So if the same thing happens here for EDG, they could be in for exactly the same thing. Koro still playing very aggressively in this lane versus XR, but you can see having a few server lag issues still prevalent, trying to get everybody back into the game, and at least us to where we can actually watch the game. Some unfortunate hesitation by the servers.
Yeah, so EDG, if they are losing the kills and the lane phases, they should be grouping up as early as possible because they really have the means. Just as I said earlier on, this Twitch with Nami and Kale support is going to be immortal, so they need to get it going as quick as possible. Corwan, of course, will have his teleport in a while, and then maybe they will be looking for some kind of a gank in the bottom.
Well, things kind of moving hesitatingly around here. Every once in a while you get a chance to see exactly where the champions are moving, so apologies for some minor server issues as we at least attempt to show you as much of the game as humanly possible. Doesn't appear like there's a whole lot to show. The immediate devastation comes in the form of Name, who is at least somewhere out on the map, down to 124 HP. But he's actually here. Yeah, he will be able to stay alive. And okay, he's sustaining. We're catching back up to live. Everything's kind of jumping forward just a little bit as we catch back up to where we're supposed to be. SMLZ apparently dies. That's pretty cool, but not quite for World Elite Academy. And it does look like everything is caught back up to where we can go ahead and continue to watch the game. At least hopefully. So Clear Love back in base, narrowly escaping that bottom lane gank. He wound up going in there, getting the kill, and then barely having the dragon strike up in order to get away from SMLZ, or his Acathian surprise rather. Very strong now, both junglers with their spirits of, or the spectral lizards, or wait, spirit of the elder lizards. It's the spectral wraith. Although spectral lizards would be pretty cool. Maybe that could give you like hybrid AD and AP, but either way, jungler's actually doing very, very well this game, at least compared to where they were previously. It was somewhat more one-sided. The game's still very even, but at the same time, you always have to keep an eye on the carries and the snowballs, as we've seen that work very well in favor of EDG. And even IG in Game 1, both games had incredible snowballs for their AD carries. And this time it looks like Name is off to a very good start. We're just going to attempt to show as much of the game as possible, even through some of these server lag issues. Although on the upside, it does mean that Clear Love gets infinite red buffs. You can see them swirling around him right there. It's quite a few red buffs, although I'm not sure exactly what that symbol on the red buff means.
Well, yep, so actually EDG is building up a little bit of goal lead. That is good for them because of the kill that they got in the bottom lane once again. A good gank from Clear Love, and the one that is building up the power is of course Twitch with a 2-1. Just trying to lead you a little bit through the game while we have lag. So you can talk about the item builds and stuff like that.
Oh, well, we can talk about the engaged bottom lane. There's apparently a little bit of a reprieve from the lag just in time for us to watch these big fights. So unfortunately, Soas was the one that got caught out there as he was trying to play aggressively. Nice tidal wave from FZZF. We criticize a lot of Chinese Nami players because they just don't hit their tidal waves, but FZZF has been able to hit a couple of them so far. So congratulations to him, kind of defying the stereotype, and that will be the first dragon of the game for EDG, going their way at about 15 minutes.
Yeah, so EDG, even though they didn't really do too well in the early game, because they lost a little bit of kills, they will take the first dragon. They got the kills onto Twitch, that's the most important thing. And yep, World Elite Academy doing a little bit better in this one, but still not being quite able to win against EDG, at least in the early stages.
Bottom lane, yeah, EDG finally coming out to a big pick. That will be on both of the bottom laners. Taking down the bottom lane turret off the back of that. Dragon going their way as well. So some big global objectives and just individual lane objectives. Very, very good start for EDG. They got 4 kills onto Name's Twitch. And oh my goodness, if that doesn't signal the end of days, I don't know what does. Incredibly strong on that champion. And now, keep in mind, he actually bought Boots of Mobility. Name grabs Boots of Mobility and is looking to make his presence known elsewhere on the map. It's like, alright, we're done with the bottom lane. He's moving incredibly fast at 448 movement speed up to that top lane. Unfortunately, he's going to be a little bit late through the all-in there. Koro's trying to get as much damage done as he possibly can. Gets kicked backwards. Actually stays alive. Name's there a little bit ahead of schedule, but not in time for the gank. 4-man, 5-man presence from EDG up top lane. I don't think they're going to try for anything crazy like a 16-minute Baron, but they could definitely give it a run for their money if they wanted to.
Yeah, it seems like EDG is set up to easily take this game. They are going for the kind of a trolley bans and kind of a trolley build on this Name, getting the boots of mobility, just running as fast as possible. Maybe Name is going for the kind of Uzi plays with this Twitch going for the backlines underneath the turrets.
Every time he auto-attacks, he cancels the boots of mobility. So that means that while he's in lane, it's actually going to be exactly the same as if he had not upgraded his boots at all. The other downside is that, okay, well, Name will stealth himself up there. He's going to stand perfectly still because the servers are kind of lagging again. So what fate awaits Name's Twitch? You can tell he's got his eyes bugging out there. He's like right next to Gragas. He's like, what am I going to do? I don't think I'd want to be Twitch in this position. He's kind of curiously placed. Like if Gragas drops his barrel, Twitch just dies. But apparently it's not Twitch who dies, it's Soest who winds up going down there. And of course XR trying to escape with his life. Something tells me he will be able to, but I'm not sure exactly how that's going to transpire. Apparently there was a crescendo used. Koro was able to escape alive. Name is barely able to escape. Nami there, along with him. FCZF. There's kills happening across the map. I'm not exactly sure how most of the time, but it appears as if the servers have restabilized and the interesting game gets even more interesting. We're just sort of extrapolating how these kills happened and making sure we don't miss too much of the action, unfortunately, out there on the map. So top turret will go down. That's the second tier turret and a 3-0 turret advantage here, although Xie will be able to take down the mid lane turret due to you kind of spending a little bit too much vacation time top lane.
Yeah, so you said he's gonna get a little bit slowed down by attacking all the time, but then ambushing with the ×5 boost from the Mobi boots is going to be exceptionally good for EDG. He just goes in for the backline and then running away would also work fine for him if he gets into stealth. So it's all about having this stealth with the Mobi boots.
And of course you do get an attack speed boost from your Q anyway, so it's I think it gets up to like 70% bonus attack speed when you stealth in there at rank 5. So Nami he's stealthed again in the bottom lane, might be looking for an assassination attempt onto UJ and SMLZ. Clearlove and Koro are in perfect position, so something tells me that these guys probably die. No confirmation on that just yet, but as soon as the servers get back to showing us the game, then we'll make sure to show as much of it as we can to you guys. A little bit behind schedule, but we'll see if we can get everything back in there. The struggle for the duo lane here on World Elite Academy is probably going to be pretty real once things unpause. Apparently they somehow make it alive somewhere. They're alive. They're like kind of moving around and stuff. It's my expert shoutcasting opinion, so just trying to give you guys the best perspective I possibly can. This is not the League of Legends I'm used to casting by any means.
Yeah, so I'm just actually watching a little bit on the Chinese stream. So Kale got a double kill, and EDG is still going for the aggression. And they will be taking Xie in the middle lane, taking most probably the outer turret in the mid. Yeah, so they got 3 kills after our lag and the outer turret in the middle lane, and they will be going really strong right now. The gold difference is quite huge. Well, World Elite Academy not anywhere near to coming back to this one. But, well, the early game was good this time around. So they are the early game based team. So the early game was good with the late game team comp. Now they are not looking too well.
Well, it's definitely not looking too good right now. Somebody's going to die here eventually. I'm not sure exactly how SMLZ and UJ survived for as long as they have, but I guess Lag just really wants them to stay alive. Hopefully we will be able to get back into here. The servers let us. Alright, so finally everybody dies. I'm super happy about that because at least we got to see something happen. And it does appear as if things are back to working. We just have to sync everything back up with where it's supposed to be, which apparently is somewhat difficult to do. People kind of walking around. This would traditionally not be a great place to be for EDG, but you know, I'm pretty sure they actually aren't there. So we'll see if we can get them back in here and show you guys what's up. Checking out the standings really quickly while we work on getting everybody back. Apologies for the lag issues. Trying to get everything set up and see if there's any options for getting this next game underway.
Yeah. So Kill got this double kill based on the tidal wave coming out from FZZF. Nice tidal wave on point, definitely knocking up 3 members for Elite Academy, 1 staying alive actually. But this Kill just jumped in, actually was in the very middle of the fight, soaked up all the damage and got 2 kills.
Alright, so I believe what I'm going to attempt to do is bring a rebroadcast of the Chinese stream. We'll have that here on stream in just a second. Trying to at least show as much of the game as possible, like I said before. So we drag that on the stream here in just a second, and I'll get that set up, and we should be able to get everything back and underway. Alright, so you can at least see the stream on, or the game on your stream. Hopefully this is at least good enough to warrant the watching. You can see the action in the mid lane as EDG are essentially moving into cleanup mode. There it is, finally showing back up there on your stream. The biggest things, of course, to point out are an incredibly strong performance from SMLZ. As I guess he is looking to kind of turn this around. They found a pick on a Name, and SMLZ's got the damage to do it. He's going to poke down this second tier mid lane turret, and it appears as if World Elite are in the process of making an epic comeback, but I'm not sure if we I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be completely possible. I'm going to make sure that I also turn off as much of this as I possibly can, and show everything on stream. So
just watching the Chinese stream, I can already see that they have a little bit of lags too, but they don't have such big lags as us. But yeah, of course they are based in China, so they get a little bit less lags because they're closer to the source. We're a little bit farther, North America. So yep. World Elite Academy actually coming back by a little bit in gold also, but it's still quite far apart. It's about 5k gold difference in favor of EDG, and the kills are definitely big too. But World Elite Academy, if they build up this Kog'Maw, who is already 4-3-0, so he has even positive stats right there, then they may be able to work something out.
Yeah, stun coming out there onto Yujie, and that's at least Clear Love able to get the engage he was looking for. It was Yu to start the fight with a long-range stun, and a nice pick there onto Yujie. Of course, Soas actually also dying. Name always stealthing up. He's looking for a big Twitch initiate. Gets the start in onto Yujie, and he will actually get blown apart. Name is looking to go down next, but actually able to stay alive there. And EDG just blowing him up. Perfect play. The stealth assassination attempt there by Name. Just way too good. EDG find the team fight win, and we'll take Baron Nashor off the back of that.
Yeah, pretty much Javan made the fight very possible for them 2 times in a row. Now this Baron will definitely go to them. Well, World Elite Academy, they just came back to the game. They got a few kills, they got this turret and the dragon, and now once again EDG turning this around, taking the Baron for themselves, and they will be looking for some more turrets. Actually, it's just 4 turrets in favor of EDG right there, so it's not too much that they have done. The whole base of World Elite Academy is still untouched.
Well, you can see they're showing the graph on the screen for jungle control, and it's actually EDG ahead in every single category except for blue buffs, I think. So they've been in control for most of this game, and it shows in the scores 20-6. And even though there was a brief period of time where World Elite Academy were able to come back, and you can see the 4 kills onto SMLZ. He's going to be the strongest member on the team, but he needs the rest of his team to kind of stay alive around him just to allow him to continue to dish out that damage. And to be honest, look, if you look at Koro, he's actually grabbed an Abyssal Scepter as well. So that's as much shred as he could possibly get without buying like a Wit's End Void Staff, which may actually be his next 2 items, depending on how he wants to play. Void Staff, of course, much more likely than the Wit's End. But Koro, very good game, as well as you. Like, you just gotta shout this guy out. Like, he's had stuns for engages, he's made picks, he's started and finished fights, and is finishing this game at 7-0-7. Name is doing a very good job at least keeping his score up there. He's the one that's been making these crazy stealth initiates and still has those mobility boots. See if that's see if those continue to stay there.
Yeah, it's mobility boots with actually home guards upgrade, so he's going for a lot of mobility right there. In 707, of course, he's so impressive on this Syndra. So he wasn't too impressive in the previous game because he didn't really do too much, but right now he's just incredible.
Very, very strong performance. You can see you just there deleting UJ from the map like something that gets deleted. Like if you was a word processor, then he just highlighted the word UJ and hit the delete button. He's out of there. Middle base turret gonna go down. Another stun from you on Asawist. I don't think he's gonna be able to get the kill, but even still, it's not the kills on champions that EDG are looking for. They're looking to take down the inhibitor, and they do at 28 minutes.
Yeah, so EDG taking the inhibitor now, and they still have the Baron buff. It definitely is going to be a strong point right there. And well, World Elite Academy, once again, they meet the point in the game when they're kind of struggling and not knowing what to do. And once again, EDG is just looking like a late game team, and World Elite is still in the early game. They are useless completely. They get
huge engaged though. UJ is just gonna go down there as Name actually flashes in, gets the slow with the Venom cast. There's clear love being kept alive by Koro's intervention. Something tells me this could be one of the last pushes of the game. A big engage, 2 for 0 in favor of EDG. They'll wait for another minion wave before they try it again.
And the intervention actually turning it around because Theodorf was so close to dying, and here we go, just once again melting.
Okay, Star actually just kind of stood around there. I'm not sure if he was like lagged out or something or other, but EDG, they find the picks that they need to take down the second inhibitor of the game, and now with 2 waves of minions pushing in, something tells me they may go for the closeout. No, they're actually going to push in the top lane and make sure to take out every single one of these inhibitors before they finish the game.
Yeah, why not? They already had the Baron, so that's the most important thing for the LPL. They will take the top inhibitor, and now with 3 inhibitors down, honestly, World Elite Academy, how are they going to defend against this?
I think the answer is probably not. Name is very, very strong. Every carry very far ahead, and more importantly, like, the only way that World Elite Academy were able to come back in the mid game was, well, I say come back, I'm using that very liberally, was by catching a pick onto Name. He's died 3 times, so he's died the most out of anyone on EDG. And if he gets picked, then that's a lot of pressure out or off the board. Of course, Yu's still very, very strong, and to be honest, it's Yu that's been starting most of these fights with Scatter the Weak on his orbs. So I don't know how you're supposed to fight against that. There's really no way that World Elite Academy have at getting into the fight quickly enough, but it appears as if some of the audience are showing us some of their team pride. Some messages on their shirt there for a second.
It's not about getting the recognition, it's about sending the message, but wow, so is just getting caught right here, clearly erased by Name, and this is the opportunity to finish the game off. And now I wanted to point out 8 kills on you, 8 kills on Name. Now it's 9 And these two carries are just too strong for World Lead.
I feel like they've been having a contest for most of the game. Who can get the most kills? Here we're going into one of the last team fights of the game. As don't think that XR is going to have too good of a time here. He survived a little bit longer than Soas, but Kale's just going to do so much damage. Look, Kale's essentially 1v5ing right there. Koro with an incredible Kale performance. That's why you ban that champion. And EDG will join World Elite, OMG, and Starhorn as the top 4 teams in LPL. They're going to head into the standings, all tied for first place. You can see them there on your screen. Tied for four-way tie for first place. And that'll leave the rest of those teams very far behind them. Of course, Invictus, I guess, in quote-unquote second place because they have 7 points. Very strong showing from the majority of the teams in LPL. Still looking for contributions from Young Glory and World Elite Academy, both of whom are having a very difficult time in this season of LPL.
Yeah, so some interesting games and a nice upset right there. Actually, you said that Invictus Gaming is sitting on 7 points, but it's LGD because they won the 2-0.
Oh, that's true, LGD. My brain still thinks Invictus Gaming should have won that series because they were doing so well in both of their games versus LGD. But man, those guys are just perseverant. They hung out, or they hung in there until the very, very end, and were able to turn it around in both games. So let's do a quick recap of the games in case you missed them. First series was a best of 2 between Invictus Gaming and LGD. Second place spot on the line, and it was LGD that was able to pull out that series 2-0 after a huge throw from Invictus Gaming, who wound up trolling around inside LGD's base, and then LGD just put on the pressure and never let up. They took down game number 1, and then game 2, just off late game scaling, they weathered the storm of Invictus Gaming, going for some crazy 4-man dives, and LGD were able to survive, and they will pick up a 2-0 in their best of 2. And of course, you just got done watching the end of a pretty interesting series between World Elite Academy and EDG. Edward Gaming moves up to 8 points at a tie for first place, whereas World Elite Academy are still winless in this season of LPL, down there at the bottom, along with Young Glory. So it's a rough place to be at the bottom of the standings for the LPL, but very close. There's let's see, 4 teams with 8 points and 1 with 7. So top 5 teams are all very, very close in the standings. LPL looking like a very close season ahead of us.
Yep, definitely. And tomorrow we should have some Demacian Cup action coming right here on this channel. Actually, 2 hours later than what we have started today, because we have started at 1600 of the Chinese Standard Time. Tomorrow it is going to be 1800. So see you there, and thanks for watching. It is, of course, the English LPL coverage brought to you by Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers with a lot of help from Twitch. So thanks a lot to Twitch. Thanks to Kelsey, who brings us a lot of insight on the Chinese LPL teams, and hope to see you around during our next broadcasts.
All right, have a good night, everybody, and make sure to tune in tomorrow, and we'll see you then for the Demacian Cup. Have a good evening.
ardent sensor, and that's where Janna has the power spike with this item. She's just incredibly OP, gives you movement speed, attack damage, and attack speed, and everything that you may want, plus a shield. So, well, maybe Janna will come in, but not now. We have Lee Sin and a Gragas locked in, so no supports coming out as of yet. Yeah, indeed, hovering over this Nami already 2 times. I think that this will be one pick, but on the other side, I'm really wondering what we'll get to see. Maybe this Morgana coming out, just because there's the lack of picks.
Well, to be honest, World Elite Academy got a pretty big dream team. They got a lot of very strong champions, and I guess this time around it's kind of the same thing. They've given XR his top lane Gragas, Soist in the jungle on Lee Sin, so 2 very, very strong picks there. The questions that are left open are, well, they gave Name a Twitch, and of course there's the Nami with Name down in the bottom lane. So we'll see if that's the name synergy is there. Of course, they might actually have to go up against the Sona here. Xie thinking about bringing that champion back. Don't see Sona that much anymore. Kind of squishy and really immobile, so winds up dying a whole lot.
Yeah, but we have seen Sona yesterday, and there's a lot of actually support players who prefer Thresh, and their second pick would be Sona. So that's kind of an unexpected pick. But Kog'Maw, on the other hand, he's the guy that doesn't really fit the LPL meta because the AD carries are just so aggressive that they make too many positioning mistakes, and it's so immobile that he'll get crushed completely. And well, Skarner, that would have been an interesting pick. But we already have
a lot of Chinese, and even like on the SEA server, they're just playing a ton of Annie mid. I don't know why. They just do it, but it's very popular, and it will be drawn a ban here for EDG.
Yeah, and in the previous game, Thresh wasn't banned at all, and now it got banned out. So, I don't know, maybe EDG is just going for a little bit of a troll banning phase right here.
Well, I mean, Thresh is always going to be a strong support regardless, so probably just banning him. Oh, they banned out Xie's LeBlanc just so that he doesn't buy Medjai's on it again. So not necessarily the greatest ban phase from EDG, but World Elite Academy are taking this one seriously, so they've banned out 2 very strong laners. I'd expect to see a Kayle ban here. No, it's actually the Braum, so EDG can grab that Kayle. It's open. Let's see if they grab it. Yeah, and there it is, first pick.
Yeah, the Kayle is open, so FCCF would like to pick a Leona, but we'll see if it will be left out open after World Elite's pick. Because, well, with Thresh banned, with Braum banned, of course, it's a Leona or Nami right here.
Well, yeah, there are a couple of supports. I expect to see the Nami, but if you actually want to go for something maybe a little bit different, I actually saw, what was it? It was an LSPL team run Janna support again. I don't think it's very good, but it's nice to see maybe some diversity out there. Also, Morgana support, also still good, although you don't see that too much in the Chinese scene.
Yeah, Janna support is awesome for now, but it's not the 4.10 patch, it's 4.9, so there's no
right. And here we go, we're into oh, actually we have to remake the lobby. All right, so false alarm. We'll be talking about some standings here in just a second. So I think the biggest thing to talk about, Nero, is the advancement of EDG to tie for first place if they do win this game versus World Elite Academy.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the remake of the room, because one of the casters actually is AFK. So they had to kick him, so we are remaking it, the room, and you are in there. So can you join the observers so they won't kick you? Okay, so now you can.
I got it. There we go. Some minor observer drama. Over the break, we were actually having a little bit of a dance-off in the lobby with some of the Chinese observers. So it was pretty awesome. But now that everybody's back into the game and nobody's kicked, let's go ahead and hop into Champion Select here for game number 2. It's EDG now on the blue team. World Elite Academy, they are in the red, and it's gonna be a rough trip through the comeback train if World Elite Academy are gonna bring this back. EDG with great planning and even better execution going for that early level, like level 2, level 3, 4-man dive in the top lane, putting him off to an early lead.
Okay, so Shia came out with his Magi Soul Stealer, so EDG just expecting him to pick up his Annie this time around, because he's this kind of a guy that buys Magi's and then goes for the Annie pick. No idea why, he just goes for the Annie pick a lot of times.
Well, it's not even just Xie, like...
And FZZF, he's known for his Blitzcrank, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out, but, well, we already have Nami locked in, so Syndra and Jarvan coming out right here.
So pretty picture-perfect team composition for EDG. They were lucky to get the Kale in the top lane. I think the Braum ban from World Elite Academy was strong, but you can't give away Kale. So Koro is going to have an incredibly strong top laner. You just see you back on his Syndra from game 1. So with the jungle Jarvan, and an arguably even stronger bottom lane in this Twitch Nami for Name and FZZF. So great draft for EDG. They'll be facing off against World Elite Academy. And they have a Kog'Maw that's a very good late game scaling champion. Ziggs will be able to draw the game out a little bit longer with some extra wave clear. The only problem is how you get through the first 15 minutes of the game, because World Elite Academy are going to be very weak early on.
Okay, so here's the deal. You said they're going to be very weak early on, and Kog'Maw is such a great late game scaling champion, and World Elite Academy is all about winning lanes. So are they actually just experimenting to try and go for a late game team comp and try to win this finally after the laning phase and not in the laning phase? Or are they actually losing hope and just going for an easy win for EDG?
We'll get a chance to see that. We're going to hop into game number 2 in this best of 2 series. We'll have that game coming your way here in just a minute. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in game number 2 for EDG versus World Elite Academy. EDG picked up a dominant game 1 win and are favored in this matchup. And if they do actually wind up going 2-0 here versus World Elite Academy, they will join let's see, Starhorn, World Elite, and OMG for a 4-way tie for first place. They do still have to win this, and with a very strong team composition to do it, we'll see if World Elite Academy can pick up their first win ever in LPL.
Yeah, so as you said, EDG going in